we are praying for the same similar amount, if not less. If Your Honor, the court will be minded to probably allow the application and review the bail terms lower. I know the battery of lawyers here will contribute towards this kitty. The court gives us something like 5,000 or 10,000. Mr. Irungu Hilton from the Amnesty International is a man of deep pockets. He may be convinced to pay that amount on behalf of those who have not yet been afforded bail terms. So that will be 5,000 times 5, which is 25,000. I can top up something small there, Your Honor, to ensure that the persons before you enjoy bail on one aspect, but number two, to prepare for a defense. Your Honor, save for Yasmin Abdul Rahman and Hanif Wanjiru, it has been about 102 days of pre-trial detention. 100 days, Your Honor, is punishment enough. We plead with the court to be lenient. I note a majority of those that are currently under pre-trial detention are male. One of the boy child is under siege. If for any other reason, allow them to enjoy the warmth of their families, and I say this, Your Honor, as a married man, the warmth of a spouse is something that is very, very important. And for Leila Halima, who is still in Langata Women's Prison, she has children, and the last born is a 2-year-old. For purposes of record, Your Honor, also, I have my colleague here, Mr. Lucaro. He has been instructed to act for the second accused person on a pro bono basis. He was in another court when the quorum was being called out, Your Honor. I pray that his name appear on our quorum today. Your Honor, as I sit down, I want to thank the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions for its candor in this matter. As I allow my other colleagues to speak, I see Mr. Kibe has finally arrived. We pray that the court determines our application for review at the earliest convenience today, so that we can meet with the subjects before you and then we prepare for our defense. Mr. Kibe has something to say. He never lacks something to say. I believe today is one of those days where he does not lack.
The first one is, of course, that under the Constitution of Kenya, there is a constitutional right to bail pending trial. Judicial policy and very many decisions that I believe Your Honor is aware of have categorically been clear that bail terms must be such as would facilitate the trial while the accused person are enjoying their freedom. It is a fact that Kenya is a very poor country, that it is increasingly becoming poorer. And as a result of that, whereas we appreciate that previously this Honorable Court has reduced bail terms for the accused person, the truth of the matter is, my learned colleague, the Vice President of Law Society of Kenya, would easily have afforded the original bail terms that were given, and probably a few of us could have struggled a little bit. But for some of these people, even an amount of 20,000 is completely unaffordable. There is a right of equality under the constitutions of Kenya. So that equality presupposes that affordability, that the right of bail pending appeal must ultimately mean for each accused person what is it that they are able to afford. And if the question of affordability is not factored, it might effectively end up meaning that richer Kenyans have a right to bail under the Constitution that is not equally enjoyed by those Kenyans in the lower strata of the economy. Your Honor, we urge that under Article 27 of the Constitution, you review the terms that have been given to one that is affordable, and they have put here an amount of 5,000. This amount of 5,000, that is my second point. The amount of 5,000 that has been recommended in this application is not an arbitrary figure. Your Honor is aware, and I'm sorry that this case escaped our attention together with Vice President. We thought these cases were over. There were a number of cases of a similar nature that we handled around in this country 2 months ago. In all those cases, judicial officers in matters of a very similar nature, they all released the accused person on both terms ranging between 5,000 and 10,000 out of the recognition that ultimately, and it always turned out to be the case, that if you are having an oppressive state, people who are more oppressed are likely to come up to fight oppression and might end up getting arrested by the police. So, Your Honor, the amount of 5,000 is not arbitrary. The amount of 5,000 is based on reality. And it is a fact, I don't know whether Mr. Kabata has mentioned that even these 5,000 organizations like LSK, Transparency International, Kenya Human Rights Commission, may ultimately have to pay for them. So that, Your Honor, we beseech you that in obedience to the constitutions of Kenya, the review of the bail terms ought to commend itself to you. And while saying that, Your Honor, I would like to remind you of an important judgment that was made by, I can't remember the citation, by Chief Justice Willy Mutunga, in which he said that under the Constitution of Kenya 2010, judicial officers cannot be value neutral. Judicial power must be exercised in a manner that shows sensitivity, that given a choice between doing what an executive would be happy to lock up people in prison and the duty of this court to support the Bill of Rights, the court should always err on the side of freedom. I urge Your Honor to join the tens of other judicial officers who in matters of a similar nature have chosen to err on the side of freedom and to release accused persons like this on affordable bail terms. The final issue, is that the accused persons were involved, the allegations being made against them are basically about involvement in matters that in a democratic society like the one declared in the Constitution, they should be commended. They rose up in protest. There were, of course, allegations would always be made in such kind of matters, that it is not protest that you are getting yourself involved in, it is other things. You know, there are videos circulating, very many, about what was happening during the time when these issues were taking place. Your Honor, I urge you just to be curious that these people, they were never captured in a single of those videos. But we are having a situation in this country where the people captured in videos engaging in treasonous activities were never brought to court. These are the people who just exercising their right to protest, recognized by the constitutions, are before you being depicted as criminals. Your Honor, I urge you and Your Honor, out of those two people, I'm being told by Mr. Kabata that two of those people are here. They are out on board. Thank God they were able to come out on board courtesy of their relatives. But they are out.
A charity organization.
A charity organization, sorry. I am informed. You know, this is proof that these good citizens of Kenya will definitely turn up for their trial. And I wish to link this to a very important issue. Namely, that the right to fair trial alongside the right to habeas corpus, those rights that cannot be suspended in Kenya even during an emergency. Today the matter was coming up for hearing. We are the advocates of these persons. We have not been able even to meet them and take instructions, because part of the right to fair trial is the right of having a meeting in an advocate's office where they are freely been able to attend. So that, Your Honor, incarceration to people whose only further incarceration is on account of their poverty ends up defeating a right that cannot even be suspended in Kenya, even during an emergency. An emergency, even declared by Parliament, can still not suspend the right to fair trial. And therefore, Your Honor, for those and very many reasons, I urge you, we beseech you, all of us, that these persons be the application being urged to be allowed, and if not for any other reasons, to the glory of our Constitution. We are most obliged to you.
Indeed, in the prayers that we are seeking, this is E3434 of 2025, same offense, same accused, same class of accused persons. The court made a determination of 30,000 Kenya shillings as cash bail on an application for review.
Your Honor, if I may, the terms in that, for that particular matter was bail of 30,000 and 2 sureties. Your Honor, on that day, getting those 2 sureties became really difficult.